held down as Obama is entering his limousine right in front of us. We're held down by the Secret Service the entire time. And then I get up and I'm just like, what the heck? And they're like, you're all right. I'm like, thanks for not pulling your guns. And like, oh no, look up. And there's guns on us on the roof. And then I smoke cigarettes like this for like 45 minutes, like after that. That's a completely true story.
So, hey, what we said earlier about delaying the program a little bit, we were just kidding. My man, Rick, is live with us right now.
Hello, Rick.
You got to unmute it.
He's saying, "Oh, you want me to talk?"
Oh yeah, that was like kind of like a commercial. Putting his glasses on.
Amateurs.
Yes, it's the wave of the future.
Aren't we all amateurs?
Yeah.
My man, how you doing?
Christopher, I'm doing great, man. Good to have you. Good to have you on my show.
I couldn't wait to have you be on your show.
My wife calls it the Rick Show.
The Rick Show. I love it. Your latest commercial, man, you are natural. I got to tell you, you're absolutely natural. So if anybody doesn't know who this fella is, this is Rick Harper. He's on Shark Tank. I think it was season 3. It's been so long now. Season 3, right?
Yep.
And he's got the magnet you see on his chest there, the ReaderRest. That's his product. And now those beautiful glasses hanging as well. So he's turned this into a real business. Oh. But the best part about Rick, he's a pretty cool dude. How's that for an intro?
That's pretty cool. I'm only as cool as you call me, man.
Well, I do feel it. So here's what we want to talk about today. I got the news today. I'm on the finale of Shark Tank tomorrow night. I'm the last one. So me and Judy are going to be the last people you see in season 12, which had 120,000 applicants. Kind of like that.
Crazy.
It's unbelievable, really, when you think about it. It's absolutely unbelievable in a pandemic and what we had to do to prepare for it. So today I want to talk about really and educate our viewers a little bit about you, right? Like, your experience, how you developed Readerest, how you decided to take it to Shark Tank. And then we'll get into, I met Rick. It's kind of interesting how I met Rick. I was in the Shark Tank aisle. We didn't know each other at Ace. And I knew him from the guy who tripped walking into the tank, falling down, and then going right into his pitch. It was brilliant. It really was. I'm like, damn, this dude really fell. I said, did he really fall? And all the sharks are like, oh my God, are you okay? So talk about that a little bit, Rick.
Well, I'll tell you, my first conversation with a Shark Tank producer was actually an argument, because when I got the conversation started, he said, okay, we need to have an interview with you on 10:15 in the morning, 45 minutes sharp, boom, boom. So he calls me, sure enough. 10:15 on the button, he calls me, right, all right, what's your pitch? And I go, okay, before I tell you what my pitch is, I got to tell you that when I come down the corridor, I'm going to trip and tumble on the ground and pop up. He says, no stunts. And I go, I'm taking the fall. He says, no stunts. I said, I'm sorry. I got to prove that my product works. My product doesn't fall off when I take the fall. He says, no stunts. I said, I'm taking the fall. And he says one short expletive and says, all right, send me a video of your stunt. I go, it's not a stunt. He says, send me a video of your stunt.
Proof of concept.
I'll try to get it through legal. Now, the inspiration of my stunt, no, I'm not going to take my shirt off, but I'm going to show you a scar from here to here. 1 year earlier, I had crashed my electric skateboard going 25 miles an hour.
Wow.
I was 45 years old. I still didn't know I was breakable.
What do you mean? You look like you're 40 right now.
So I crashed my electric skateboard. I tumble on the ground. I break my shoulder, break my wrist, took a bunch of skin off my left foot. I get to the ER. I'm a little bit in shock. I rode my electric skateboard the rest of the way, believe it or not. So I get to ER and I pull my glasses out of and now my thumb is in my belt trying to push my shoulder up into my collarbone. So I pull my glasses out of my Readerest and I realized my glasses stayed on my Readerest through the accident and the tumble. That was my inspiration for the fall, bro.
I mean, think about that. I remember you telling me that story. And again, like everybody, right? Anybody that's developing a product or has an aha moment, there you go. Right? The dude's got a broken arm, he's bleeding, skin's ripped off, and he's saying, man, my glasses are still attached.
It was more like an ow moment.
Yeah. No, it was a long moment, a long, painful moment. Actually,
Right, so then what
that
happened?
was
So
8-month recovery. That was
Yeah,
a really
so
bad accident.
that's like being all in, right? That's learning the hard way, being all in. So what happens? So you get done, you get the sling. Now you say, wow, I have a great product. I have a moment. So what do you do next?
I had a pretty good idea that was a cool product. Matter of fact, to be honest with you, it wasn't even the product wasn't even completely done yet. It was still in its baby stage. It was not a product. It was just a place to hang my glasses. It was originally literally a paper clip bent into a U shape, epoxied to 2 magnets with a fender washer under my shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided, you know what? All right, this is gonna be a big deal. So I went into production. I had actually sold a business just before. I developed a line of products for window installers. I was in construction my whole life. So I developed a line of products for my people, which were people that installed replacement windows. So that went pretty well. Then I started making these things, and
In your garage, right?
yeah, actually it was a upstairs bedroom first, and then the garage, and then I started taking over the whole house, and my wife kicked me out into a little warehouse. But I had, I don't watch a lot of TV, so I'd never seen Shark Tank, and the season 2 was over, and what I did was I went and I got the patent. Actually, I thought I was the inventor. Turns out I was like, who knows how many people in line. I developed a cool product. The guy that had the patent had just died, and his wife wasn't doing anything with it. His version of this idea was terrible. I'm sorry if you're a family member watching this, you know what I'm talking about. His version of this product was terrible. He could not get it to market. So she sold me the patent, and I started doing street fairs, farmers markets, gun shows, golf shows, home shows, you name it. I've seen you at a lot of them. And I kept hearing the same thing. Bro, you got to get on Shark Tank. This is perfect. I'm like, what's Shark Tank? So I heard every variation of what people think Shark Tank is. It's a game show. It's a reality show. It's a contest. You can win money. And so I'm like, I'm not going on some stupid game show. I'm a businessman. I'm taking a product to market. Well, about 6 months into thousands of people telling me you should get on Shark Tank, my best friend called me and cursed me out for not at least taking a look. So I did. I took a look, and I lied and cheated to get on the show. Didn't you?
You're a little elaborate now. How much did you lie and what did you cheat?
Well, I just went on the website and said, hey, dear Shark Tank, I've never seen your show before, which is true. I've had hundreds of people tell me to get on your show, which is true. And they said, don't send samples, don't send videos, do not upload videos. Just, we want a picture of you, your domain, a brief description of the product. And the keyword is we want upload a picture of yourself. So I uploaded a moving picture called a video. And I demonstrated, hey, Rick Harper here with Readerest. I hate losing my glasses, blah, 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 blah. It's so simple. It sticks like this. So 20 seconds later, after they're watching a moving picture of me, they gave me a call. And so sometimes you got to push it.
Well, that doesn't surprise me, Rick, because you are really good at it, man. I'm gonna tell you, every video you do, you'll never have to hire anybody to do your videos. You're natural and you're really good at it, and you make them entertaining.
Man.
So you want to watch them.
I can't take credit for any of my enthusiasm, my skills, or my ability, especially like the camera thing. When there's a camera on me, I feel uncomfortable. I'm not inside my wheelhouse, but it sure as heck, look, every time I watch a video that I produce, I go, wow, it really looks like I know what I'm doing. And it doesn't, just to be honest with you, it doesn't feel like it. If anybody out there is scared of doing video or getting in front of people, in spite of the discomfort and the fear, go do it and just be authentic. I mean, one of the reasons that I come through on a lot of my video presentations is because my heart is speaking to my customer, and my customer is inside that little hole that is looked at, little tiny hole. All my customers are in that little tiny hole.
And it's amazing, Rick, like if you say it's not your wheelhouse, you're uncomfortable. I mean, I look at these videos and you look absolutely like a pro and a natural. So kudos to you, man, because that's part of overcoming the fear as well, right? I mean, I remember the first day I was on Good Morning America, I'm like, oh my God, I got to make sure, you got to say it. You got to make sure you do it right. It's got to come natural. You got to feel natural, whether you're not comfortable or not. And you know how it is walking on the stage of Shark Tank. That's not an easy task either, man. That's pretty daunting. I've done some pretty big board member presentations for Ford Motor Company and the BMW groups, and that was pretty interesting. It's kind of a different element because if you make a mistake, that's it. It's forever.
I know my experience on TV is usually bored to death, waiting in that room forever before they bring you out. So
I was a little different because it was COVID, so I was it was limited room, limited space. It was all timed. There was a lot of stuff going on in the background, no doubt. And walking down that corridor is pretty. It could be. I mean, if you have never done that or been in front of a camera, I can see how people freeze up, and it's extremely intimidating. I don't know if you haven't done it. You know what I'm saying.
The crying, the sweating, it's unbelievable. I literally almost passed out because all my friends told me when I told a few of my friends what I was going to do. I was going to go in there and tumble and fall on the ground and pop up, and they were going to all be impressed. And all my friends said, "Bro, don't take the fall. They're going to think you're an idiot." They're not.
I thought it was great. I swear to God, I was watching with Brandy. I'm like,
right up to the last minute, my buddy's like, "Dude, they're not going to take you seriously. They're going to think you're an idiot." And I go, my answer was always the same. I am an idiot and I have nothing to lose.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's part of life, right? Taking that risk. So let's go back just a little bit. So now you've got this product, you've done this, you start making them in your garage. What happens next, right? So you get on Shark Tank, you talk about the pitch. How much work was it to get on Shark Tank outside of, uploading the video and people like the way you look? But I think part of it is it's absolutely, they look for you first, right? They want to make sure you're a good contestant, a good applicant. They do all the due diligence, and then they want some entertainment. I mean, you gave them some entertainment.
Well, you had your experience, and I think every single person that gets on that show has their own personal experience of how they got on and all the conversations and the levels of fear and anxiety. I got lucky because I had never seen the show before. And that year there was only about 40,000 applicants. Congratulations, by the way. And so when I went on, I got lucky because it was about 3 weeks before they were taping season 3. And they just pulled me, they got my video or my picture and called me. And a lot of people don't know this part of the story. I was actually in Huntington Beach surfing. I have one of those big Sprinter vans, the Mercedes Sprinter vans with surfboard strapped to the inside. And I was in the back of my van, completely naked, dripping wet. I just took my wetsuit off and I'm on the phone with the producer. But the point is, I got lucky right in the nick of time, and I didn't have to do any work at all except for send them an email. Now, my attorney said, "Are you sure you want to sign that big contract? There's a lot of crazy stuff in there." And then they softened it up, I guess, over time. But it was so really getting to the point where if you're lucky enough to be one of the very few people that get selected, you want to go in there and just tell your story. You want to just tell your honest story about your product, the history of your product, how I came up with it, and a little bit of personal stuff. But I feel sorry for I've been to a couple big cities, one time in Vegas, one time in Houston, where there was Shark Tank open casting calls. And there were hundreds of people in the lines waiting for hours just to have a 30-second, "It's me," That's unbelievable.
It's funny because a lot of people ask me that. how long did you wait in line? I go, what do you mean? How long did I wait in line? I sent an email in. And then I honestly, I got a call. That's how it started. And I had a couple of products and I selected one of them because of the story and my partner with it. It was just, I think part of, like you said, it's part of the product is important, but they want to see the story and they want it to be, they want to show America. I mean, a little bit what you said, all the fears are eliminated, right? You'll be able to bring it in front of people because everyone has some type of story.
How was your distribution before you got on Shark Tank, and how was it afterwards?
That's good. You just opened a can of worms right there. So, I didn't know what was going to happen once I did get on the show. Once millions of people were going to instantly see my really fun little gadget that really works. And I already knew people loved the product because when I at trade shows and street fairs, people saw what it did. They were pulling money out of their pocket, throwing money at me before they even asked how much it was. They didn't care because they knew it would be affordable. So the big situation was my website going to be able to handle the load, the influx? And so I called a couple of season 1 and season 2 entrepreneurs that were on the show, and they never called me back. I was really disappointed that it's such a small community of people that go on that show. So I've always been real accommodating to folks. I've had hundreds and hundreds of calls. It's been about 9 years since I was on that show. And I give everybody 5 minutes. A lot of times it turns into 20, and it usually turns into a lifelong friendship. And so I want to share my experience with people that don't know where the road is going if I've been down the road before. So the distribution was, to answer your question in numbers, I had only sold $65,000 worth of product in the 6 months leading up to it, because it was fist to fist, literally trading people's hard-earned money for my little crappy goodie, right?
Right.
And that was just a good testing ground. So the real problem was Lori got me on QVC right away.
Oh, hang on, that's the key though. You have a deal with Lori. We didn't get to that yet. You made a deal with Lori, right?
Yeah. So Lori, the best part was 1 week before we taped, I get a call and they say, "Hey, we have a new shark." And I had already done background checks on all the sharks. You got to know who you're going to go talk to. I mean, not like background checks, like criminal background checks, but like I just did some research, who's who. And so they said, "Hey, this Lori, the queen of QVC." I'm like going, perfect. I've been trying to get on QVC and I could not get in. Matter of fact, I wish I would have saved it. I have a rejection letter from somebody at QVC that says, "Hey, we're sorry, but we don't think your product would be a good fit for QVC." And then the first time we got on the show, we sold like $300,000 worth of stuff in like 8 minutes. Anyway,
how did that make you feel though, Rick? Seriously, like you get a rejection letter, it'll sell. Doesn't that piss you off?
Yeah, it's disappointing when somebody doesn't see the truth the way you see the truth. Mm-hmm. And I already knew. But what I didn't know was what the requirements for dollars per minute TV versus a trade show and a street fair. So I couldn't judge. I didn't know their world. Whoever signed that paper, that rejection note was sorely mistaken, but they thought they were correct in it. I mean, it is disappointing. I feel so bad for a lot of products out there, that people that have a product they just can't get to the customers. It's so hard to get to customers.
So you end up getting on QVC the first time. How much you sell?
Oh yeah, we sold out. I couldn't make the product fast enough at the time because of my process was, it didn't need to make that many. If I needed to make 50,000 units, it would took me weeks, literally a month to make 50,000 pieces, because I was doing it all by hand, one little glue dot at a time and the whole thing. And then I hired some people to help out, because this stuff's made it was made in California at the time. I moved to Bartonville, Texas about 8 years ago. So my product is still made here. My glasses are made in China, like pretty much everything else, but my magnetic eyeglasses holders are all made here. So I couldn't make them fast enough. And so I only had $100,000 worth of stuff, and 5 minutes into the episode, out of stock.
Yeah, wow.
So I was excited and scared because I knew the next order was going to be really big, and they tripled the order. And I was like, I'm a believer in the creator of the universe, and that I read this in a book that was originally published in 1925, that I can pass my conflicts from here to here, and then pass off my conflicts and surrender them and just relax. I don't meditate and concentrate. I meditate to surrender my conflicts and issues to the creator of the universe. He passes them back to me when I wake up in about 15 minutes, and it's all organized, and it goes from here back to here. And then my hands get busy and I go do stuff. So I did this. I was in my little building, and I couldn't make them fast enough, and I could not figure out how to do it. So I just laid back in my office chair, and I intentionally surrendered the concept to my abdominal mind. My Christian friends call it our soul, and just surrendered it to the creator. And 15 minutes, I come flying out of my chair with a vision of the flat board with this little handheld thing and going, brrr, brrr, and I was laying down like a machine gun, laying down. And I built a prototype in about an hour, and it worked. I started crying. I took off running and yelling around my building because I knew what had just happened. So I go.
How's that for a paradigm shift?
I call my buddy. I go, dude, get over here. You're not going to believe it. I got goosebumps just talking about it. And so to this day, so I made my prototype out of wood. Then I had a CNC guy with like a computer program. He made me some tools. We're using those tools to this day. And one person can produce 10,000 of these in one day without plugging anything in. No electricity, no hydraulics, no nothing. It's unbelievable.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's amazing.
How about that? I mean, I get these ideas when I cut my lawn. Honestly, I mean, people laugh at me, but I say there's something about cutting lawn. The phone's not ringing. Nobody's talking to me. No one's yelling. It's just me, the lawnmower, and the grass. And I just get this calming thing, and my mind just goes. So it's a little bit what you're saying. I do it in a different way.
I use a lot of grass for my inspiration too.
Yeah, man.
My best idea is cutting grass.
Yeah, every person with a naturally born inventor's brain knows exactly what you're talking about. We are victims to ideas that are in the ether, and they come and zap us in the brain, and we have to do all the work to bring it to life.
Right.
I mean, think about it. Everybody has an idea. The hundreds and hundreds of people that have contacted me, hey, bro, I got this great idea. I would like to sell it to you. I don't buy ideas. Ideas are worth a penny at best. All the effort and the work and the prototyping and the risk and the developing and then breaking stuff and cutting metal and shaping stuff. One of my products I made, I literally took a piece of paper, I cut it into a shape, I bent it up and creased it, and then I carried it into a metal fabricator. I go, hey, can you make me one of these out of metal? And he did, and it was perfect. So it's just how you communicate with people that know how to do stuff. One thing I've learned is there's not that many of us that know what to do, but there are many, many people that know how to do stuff, that love doing stuff. They want to design and build and make stuff for the inventors out there. We just got to go build those relationships, man.
No, it's a good point about having it and seeing it, improving the concept. So let's talk more about distribution. So now you should get you on QVC, but I see these things everywhere, right? So what happens? So after QVC, now you're in all the stores. Talk about that a little bit, because that's not an easy task either. Getting into retail and having all that shipped and the right packaging. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, okay, we're going to go back 10 years in time, which is a long time with modern technology.
Mm-hmm.
The world has shifted. Retail has changed. I'm not telling anybody anything they don't know. So we pivoted. I mean, like we did $1 million on Walmart 10 years ago and zero on Amazon. Now it just went like this, right? So, I mean, it's not over. I still have a great relationship with Walmart, and I'll tell you, between Walmart, Bed Bath & Beyond. So Lori did QVC, and when they introduced me to the queen of QVC, she is phenomenal at everything she touches, but her best stuff is QVC from what I've learned about Lori. And she's incredible at it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't stand up there for 8 minutes and be relevant the entire time. I'd be like 30 seconds later, my pitch is over. I'm just looking around, you know? We did have to create a variety of methods of, so my goal was to get this simple solution into the hands of people that would benefit from it. So I had to go put my product where those people shop. So that's optical shops, that's hardware stores. We met at Ace. That's Walmart, Bed Bath & Beyond, Hobby Lobby, Container Store, Walgreens, on and on. Every single relationship with the big box store is completely different. And I'm not talking about your relationship with the buyer. I'm talking about the vendor agreements,
right?
The boxing and packaging requirements, the shipping rules, and when you're allowed to, how much you're allowed to, how about the box size, quantity, pack size, where the label goes on the what side of the box, and top or bottom. They're because they're distribution centers. So there's a ton of little things. Now, I will say this, that if you are a one pony show, or you're a one trick horse, or you're a single entrepreneur, you will not be able to have a relationship with big box stores. You have to have a team or a representative or somebody that can handle all the components of distribution. So we did one by one. I started contacting stores. Now, I will say that between Shark Tank and QVC, that credibility got me an audience with a lot of merchants.
Yeah, right. So then now you have to build. So you have and I know the retail side pretty well, and I know how complicated it is. And you know, just to get into a retail and finally get a vendor number and then get somebody, one of the buyers, to give you a PO is a big task. But then you have to build all these, right? I remember seeing you on an update, a Shark Tank update. You were with Lori by one of the boats, and I think you had done like 2 million or something. It was pretty cool. I mean, like, I didn't know you then. I didn't know you at all. I just saw the updates.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. But so now you got to start building more of these. Where did you end up now? You must have built a building or moved into a warehouse, something, right?
Yeah, we went from from the bedroom to the living room to a little 1,400 square foot place. Yeah, a little 1,400. So my last business, I went from 2,000 to 10,000 to 40,000 square feet because we had big stuff. Right. Now this is tiny. Look how little this thing is.
I know.
So right now I have so we went from a little building, and then, you outgrow it. But you know what? One of the best advice I ever got from somebody that was very successful, that's always said, do things on an as needed basis. Because things change so fast. There are so many variables outside your control. If you put your vision to work and you say, I'm going to go from here to 60 million in the next 10 years, and you try to fund facilities for that, you can't do it. So incremental, as needed basis, go into something a little bigger than you need and make sure you can maneuver and be flexible. So that's what I've always done, is on as needed basis. I go, like right now, I have a 4,000 square foot building in Texas, and as a flex space, I bought the house. I got 5 acres out here. I literally I bought my building on 2.5 acres 8 years ago, and we're just outgrowing that because 2 years ago I bought the house next to my business on 3 acres, and I poured a sidewalk in to my building so I could ride my skateboard to work.
Nice.
So I also built a 5,000 square foot barn that half of it is my wood shop and my mad scientist shop and my motorcycles and all my toys. And on the other half, I made it so it's flexible space so I can grow. And I'm about to build a 22,000 square foot building onto my 4,000 square foot building because I got plenty of room. And so I bought a big enough property where I can build more, more space. So, I mean, that's, you got to use your head and figure out how much space you think you need. Some people don't need any space. The smartest guy I know, he owns a business. He carries no inventory. All of his products are COD. He outsources distribution and fabrication and manufacturing. He builds relationships. He's just a cash machine. I don't recommend having 15 swim lanes in your business because we have production, distribution, manufacturing. We do our own packaging. So we have kind of like a whole bunch of businesses inside of our deal. But that also means control. We can turn on a dime. We manage every bit of our inventory. And so, it's a matter of your comfort zone. If I hadn't done other stuff before this, I don't think I would have had the bandwidth or the ability to build a team. I got an incredible team.
Yeah, you definitely do. And I think about some of the different styles now, right? I mean, you took this as a one type of product, single product style. And now I see all different graphics, different colors. Talk about that a little bit, because that adds some complexity with SKUs and where they're going and how you manage your inventory. But
Yeah.
I think it's really cool that you did that, because it just broadens the spectrum of your product line.
Well, for retail, for the big box retailers, they want one or two items. So we just sell them our top couple, 2 or 3 SKUs that are our top number one sellers. But for example, on Amazon, which is a wild animal, it took me 3 years to clean up a disaster of Chinese knockoffs, literally thousands of Chinese knockoffs of my American-made product over several years. The hardest yet most important battle that I've ever won was dealing with knockoffs. But from a product variety standpoint, I've got a couple offers for my business recently, and one thing they like about my business model is I keep things pretty simple and streamlined. So I'm using the same products, but for example, on Amazon, I got 9 different styles, but I probably has 40 different listings, because I do a combo pack with stainless and black. That's my number one seller. Here you go. Stainless steel and black. That's my number one 2-pack. I have 3 packs. I have Swarovski crystals. I have little pearl elements, and I have a bunch of different colors. So you combine 2 packs, 3 packs, 4 packs, 6 packs, 2 of these, 2 of these, 3 of these, 2 of those. But I have one piece of metal that gets stamped in Kentucky. We assemble everything in Bartonville, Texas. We do all of our packaging here. My coating guy that does my epoxy coatings is about 12 miles from here. I built these cool shipping crates and the methods of production. And I think having a simple product line is a really important way to go, because if you overdo if you give people too many options, my favorite cheeseburger is In-N-Out Burger. You want a
Crazy,
number
right?
one, a number 2,
Absolutely. I
or
agree
number 3?
so much on this.
Yeah.
You control the options. They have 4 burgers or something, right? You got a line that's looks like it's a mile long, and you're out in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
you do the
right.
secret
Moving
menu.
the process.
Oh yeah, I was waiting for somebody to talk about the secret menu.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a secret menu. So okay, so I love your product, right? It's absolutely a cool idea. I mean, I use it all the time. And again, it's more than just hanging glasses. There's so many things you can do with this, and you've become an expert at marketing this as well. So let's talk about now. You grow your business. You have a relationship with Lori. You got some Shark Tank credibility. And now, I mean, we could talk probably knockoffs all day long, but just hold that for a second, because I know you had a lot of knockoffs and you handle them, I think, the way I'd like to handle them as well. But then you come up with a new line, a new product, a completely new product line. Just makes sense, right? Glasses. How did that happen?
Well, I knew I needed to expand my product line. You got to keep growing. You got to keep moving. I would never, I'm not the kind of guy, I'm an inventor. I don't go do anything that everybody else does. I'm allergic to anything that everybody else does. I don't like to do it. I'll go out of my way just to avoid copying people.
Mm-hmm.
But reading glasses, obviously, my product is called ReaderRest. It has the word reader in it. People use my product for reading glasses. I mean, yeah, sunglasses work too, but so yeah, sure. I use it for all kinds of stuff. I stick little screws to it and tools. And I mean, but our bread and butter, our people was actually up until recently was 45 to 75 was our demographic. But when blue light blocking lenses became a thing, and when all these devices were nonstop on devices, cell phones, computers, and whatnot, there's a blue light, and the short story is the human being was designed to wake up with the sun and go to sleep with when the sun goes down. Well, we have the ultraviolet stuff and all this light that comes into our eyes, that goes into our minds and our brains, and the way our mind works. Sleep is almost as important as food. If you're gonna eat right, you need to sleep right to be fully healthy and fully in the zone, you might say. So zero power became a big deal. Zero power glasses for people that don't need correction, but they still want protection from the blue light that's coming from our devices. So I went and got introduced to the absolute perfect connection over in China, and I flew over and built a relationship with these guys. We have an incredible supplier that makes really high quality stuff. And I decided, because these are like typically the glasses I sell are a $30 to $35 value at retail, but I'm only charging $15.99 on Amazon, because I don't need to, I don't want to use the word greed. I wanted to have a really, really good price point for a really good quality. So these things are super lightweight. They're really comfortable on just about every face. They're all spring-loaded hinges for greater comfort. One of the stories our customers tell us, and I went after the crystal clear lenses I could find. We did UV protection, anti-scratch resistant stuff, and especially the blue light blocking. So I wanted to have really good glasses, lightweight, comfortable, spring-loaded hinges, blue light blocking, and I wanted to sell it at a price that anybody can afford, and then they keep coming back for more. Because
what's the name of the models you're wearing right now? I'm going to go on Amazon and buy a pair as we speak.
So this is, I think this is called Ocean Eyes. Ocean Eyes. It's the light blue, but I have like 10 different colors of this. This is my B frame. We're just now launching another, our 4th frame style, which is a really popular frame style. I like this. I like the squareness on my face. Mm-hmm. You may go after our C frame if you like a little more of a round frame, but just make sure you go ReaderRest reading glasses if you're going to go on Amazon. And but yeah, no, people really like our glasses. It was the best thing I ever did. I originally was just, I wanted to solve all the pain points for the retailer, because every reading glass rack I walk up to in any store is chaos. It's really hard to find a style you like and the strength you need, the magnification strength that you need. It's really hard. And then they're always a disaster. So you could check out my on my website, but I designed a display that is super organized. It's easy to keep in stock, and it's easy to see exactly what you need, because it's all alphabetical. It's all color coded, and they're really beautiful boxes that slide out like a little drawer, and simple.
Carmine, listen to this, right? I mean, tell me Rick doesn't get it, right? And I'm sure it wasn't always like that, but he truly understands what his audience needs. You know, I'll ask you this, Rick, right? Because you probably weren't a glass expert at one point, but you had in mind what you wanted your customer to have, right? The pain points, the lightness, the colors, and all that. So who helped you with that? You had to have somebody, right, in the manufacturing side, or some expert, some graphic design person to help you with the glass. But then you took it, like, to me, you took it to a whole nother level. So because I saw you at one of the shows, I think it was the Houseware show, where you showed me the glasses. They were awesome. They're great. They're beautiful. They're light. They feel good. They don't look like all the other stuff out there. So again, you started out with a product, you've grown your brand now, and here you are with a glass line. So tell me a little bit about how you came up with all that.
I got a fun story for you. My wife thought I was a crazy man for doing this, but
they always think you're crazy. Every wife.
Yeah, I can't catch a break. So I needed people. So I went and literally got maybe 500 different styles and frame styles and just all the stuff that's already available in the market. And I wanted to see, and so I would actually go hang out. I hope I don't get in trouble for this. A couple of times I hung out at Target and I waited for the lady that comes and stocks the reading glasses on the display. I says, hey, which one is the #1 most popular style for guys? She reached out and she knew it because she's there every week stocking the same stuff, the stuff that sells. She goes, oh, that's these. She hands them to me. So I bought a pair of those. What about the second most popular? She grabbed me those. Okay, how about for ladies? Boom, boom. She grabbed me those. So I bought those glasses. And then I had a whole bunch of styles. And then I went to China and I met with my manufacturer out there. And I brought back like a couple hundred more styles. Everywhere I went, I was buying. Everywhere I went, I was like looking at people's faces. I was like, and they're going, what are you looking at? I go, your glasses. Do you love your glasses? Oh,
that's a form of proof of concept.
Oh yeah. So where'd you get those? And I go buy those. So then what I did, I told you I had that big Mercedes Sprinter van. Well, I'm on my 9th one because I like to, they're like a blank canvas to an artist. I buy a big giant Mercedes Sprinter van and I build it out like tongue and groove ceilings and AR-15 racks and surf racks. You know, I just build out in the queen size beds and stuff, camping, toilets, whatever. So I have this one, I hadn't built it out yet. And so I built these displays, 5 towers of displays of reading glass racks, and I screwed them to the floor and the ceiling. And then I would drive around to the store and to the bank. Hey, can you guys, and then I had a little display of magnetic eyeglass holders. I said, can you come get in my van for and pick your top? And I had a little ballot, like a little voting ballot. And I had everything scary.
Can you
come get in my van?
And I'm going to give you a little prize if you get in my van and you pick
candy.
Yeah, no, the candy's over. He's offering other stuff now.
We're gonna leave. We'll leave the doors open. Don't worry. Unless it was really hot, because we're in Texas, then I leave the doors closed and keep the air conditioning blasting. And I had 2 or 3 people walking around my van, the little voting card. They're voting for their favorite, and then for their vote, I would give them a free Readerest magnetic eyeglass holder.
Wow, that is great. I absolutely love it. All right, so now, so you did all this, right? And again, Rick, you're not the average guy, honestly. I mean, I personally know you're not the average guy. You're a pretty sharp dude. You are a hands-on guy. I always see you building stuff in your shops. I mean, maybe we should talk about your chickens a little bit, right? Go ahead.
Oh boy,
you don't mess around.
There's my
pet chickens.
Those are my. That's my chicken coop. When my wife came home from the grocery store and said that Kroger said we could only have 1 dozen eggs at a time, I go, well, you know where eggs come from, right? Literally 1 week later, I had the Taj Mahal chicken coop built in my backyard.
Wow.
Now I have 15 chickens. There's some of them running around right over here. They run all over the property.
They even have names for them too, right?
Oh yeah, the grandkids named them all. Chickaletta, Mary Poopins, Sunflower, Daisy, Kate, Rose, Paige. They're named after my middle. they're the best.
Honestly, he's not crazy. He really isn't. All right. So
you got to be crazy.
What's life like for you now? You're a guy who had an idea. You acted on it, and you acted on it after a pretty serious injury. And look where you've come. I mean, do you ever sit back and go, man, if I didn't fall off that skateboard, maybe none of this would have happened?
I don't know. I just glad I was wearing a helmet. That's all. So like my last July, coming up on a year, my general manager, who is my son-in-law named Bill, absolute rock star. I got Vince, Bill, Tyler. I got
a good dude.
A team of guys that are just unbelievable. They kind of had an intervention with me because I would go in there, I want to fix stuff if it ain't broken. I want to change it. I want to improve it. I go into the production room. I'm sighting down the table. I'm going and make sure it's straight and making sure, because I built all of my production tools. So I go in and test to make sure everything's not wearing out. And I get in trouble now if I go anywhere near our inventory, because I steal my stuff and give it to my friends. And my inventory managers, like my supply chain guys, like, Rick, you got to take pictures of that. I'll do. So anyway, so last July,
fill the wreck out before you take it out of inventory.
Yeah. So last July they said, hey, Rick, how about you just stay home now? You're just in the way, man. Go do what you do best. Go invent something. And I literally have got 8 new inventions on the drawing board, but I got so much passion. Matter of fact, A buddy of mine has a friend of his that's like worth several $billion. He says, he called me, he says, hey, shoot a video for this guy. He loves your product, and shoot a video for him personally. He'll really love it. So I just held my camera. I shot a little video for him. I sent it to him, thanking him for being an awesome customer. And he said, dude, that was so golden. And I read my text, my last text I sent to him. I said, I really do love my customers, and I wish they all knew, because of the way I feel about my customers. And I want to make sure everything that's happening in my production facility, in my distribution, everybody feels the same way about our customers that I do. Well, anyway, so they asked me to leave last July and not come into the office if I could avoid it. Wow.
Was that a legal sense? Did that give you like a restraining order?
I would say I'm over it. And I am. I'm not going to lie.
I'm not sure you are.
I can stay up to 3 a.m. and sleep until 10 o'clock. I have zero responsibilities at the office except for the really high level big fires, right? And those are all scheduled. I have very few situations where, I stay at the 50,000 foot level now, and I can see what's going on everywhere. So every once in a while, I'll make a phone call and ask a simple question to point them at a fire that's burning that they didn't know about, but I know they'll solve it. I don't have to go put fires out anymore.
Yeah, because I've been doing the corporate America thing for a long time, right? Before I jumped into my own business.
Yeah.
And the number one thing for me is having the right people, because you can have the greatest product if you don't have the right people making it and being able to solve the problem. It's your people first. And that's what helped me become extremely successful, was having the right team and the right people buy into my vision, right?
That's everything. That's everything. So we started another company. We're actually about to launch in a few weeks. I got a couple trademarks, and it's my last business I was talking about. I developed a line of product for window installers called Trim Quick, and it's peel and stick window trim for replacement vinyl windows. And I was a window guy, so I got really mad one day because the window industry wouldn't solve the problem for me, so I did it. And the window installers went crazy because it was so easy to sell. I would literally give some to an installer, and it was like a drug deal. They were hooked immediately because the product was cheaper, better looking, and
that's
faster.
just candy. You want?
It was unbelievable.
Come in my van. Let me give you a sample.
No. No. Okay, we'll leave that one alone. But so I about 6 months ago, I ran out of the adhesive that I was using 10 years ago because I had so much of it. And I freaked out, and I realized this double-sided adhesive is so incredible. So I called my old supplier. I'm like, hey, bro, give me a price for like $20,000 worth of this stuff. I'm going to create my own label. I'm going to brand it because it was a no-name product. So it's called Wicked Hard Goods, LLC. And I got Wicked Good adhesives, and I got the trademark for Wicked Good, not like the cupcakes. It's actually different in industry. So we're actually about to launch, and I think we're going to go tap into carpet. I'm doing carpet tape and gappers tape and double-sided adhesive.
It's a good time. It's a good time in the market to be doing that with the way the housing boom is happening. That is brilliant.
Yeah. So and I got a little chicken coop gig going with some guys. I designed 2 chicken coops that fill a big need for backyard chickens right now.
Wow. That is really good. So if you had to just take a moment from the time you developed and came up with, maybe falling off your skateboard and coming up with the magnets to hold your glasses on, to where you are now, what is your message to the entrepreneur world? What would you take away from all this that you would say to the group? Go and focus on this.
I'm going to shift your question into what advice would I give to maybe blossoming entrepreneur, somebody that wants to do a product or a business. And number one, I met a lady one time that had a business. She was on Shark Tank, and she called me to have her take a look at her company, and she had never built a spreadsheet. She hadn't done the math. She had a huge heart, and she had a lot of energy, but she hadn't done the numbers, and I saw what was going to happen. That company was going to fail at some point when the energy got pulled out. So number one, do the math. Do the math. There's different types of math. There's psychological math. Perceived value to me is mathematics. How much will somebody pay for something? So when you go, I got an idea for a product, I'm going to solve the problems. I'm going to cure a disease, or I'm going to solve a problem where people trip over this thing and fall and bump their head and die over and over. I got a solution for it. I don't care how great the solution is. If it costs this much to make and people will only pay this much for the product, it's dead. It's not a product, it's a hobby. So what will people pay for it? How much is it going to cost to make? How much is it going to cost to build a team and the distribution? And is there enough profit for it to actually be a business? So do the numbers, run the numbers, and especially test the product on people. Don't ask your friends what they think, because they're going to tell you what you want to hear. Find if you can build enough, somehow build prototypes or examples of the product, or do a great video. Like Kickstarter is a great example of that, because you can convince strangers to trade their hard-earned money for your crap. If strangers will trade their hard-earned money, pull money out of their pocket and trade it for your crap, and you can make money doing it, boom, go baby, go.
There it is. There it is, Carmine.
Penny.
Okay, the chickens got out and the dogs are chasing them now.
Penny, come here. Penny, come. Penny, come. I want to introduce you to the world. Puppies. Penny, come.
Puppy.
Penny, come.
Puppy.
She just wants to get in the house.
It's one of the chickens. Hey, but you see, like, this is no miracle magic potion, right? I mean, you see it. You see how much work he put into this and the thought process behind it. I mean, Rick's not your average guy either. And not for nothing, Rick, honestly, you could make a living doing commercials, doing videos, marketing. Seriously.
Well, if I loved it, I would consider it.
Your stuff is it's educational, but it's also fun to watch.
Thank you, man.
I personally appreciate you, man. We met a long time ago at a trade show of all places, ACE, right? And I had no idea who you were, other than the guy that fell down over a carpet in Shark Tank, and I thought it was great. And I watched your follow up, and everything about you is real. And I see all the stuff you do now. We talk from time to time, so I really appreciate you being on the show, because I think our listeners will get every bit of nugget that you shared today. I think it's important that you, like you said, you can't sell an idea, but nobody wants ideas. It's got to be something concrete. You got to prove it out. You got to have something in your hand to work with, make sure it's solving a problem. And I enjoyed watching your career. I enjoyed watching you from when you told me your story about the skateboard to just watching you grow up now with all your different products. So really appreciate it, man.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate kind words. Life is short. I had a buddy breathe his last breath into my face a few years ago. And so when you have somebody and it's over, you never get that picture out of your head. Mm-hmm. And so it makes me think about my last breath. And I just went to the heart doctor because somebody told me I might have a problem with my heart. And it turns out I don't. I'm golden. But I was thinking about my heart, and I realized when that little thing, like, I'm inside my mommy, I'm three weeks old, still turning into a human being, and my little heart's pounding, right? That little pump has to keep pumping until the last pump. And we got to do everything we want to do while that thing's pumping. So that's why I don't waste a lot of time, man.
Yeah, I get it. Well, thank you, man. This was a great show, Carmine. Another great show. This is becoming a really good educational series. So thank you, Rick. Appreciate it. And anything you need from me, I'm a phone call away.
Awesome.
You already know that.
Got you, bro. You too, man.
All right,
great.
Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thanks for being on. It's so great to have you on. Appreciate it. We had a lot of people live on YouTube telling how great the advice was, all the things that you were talking about. Everybody's relating to it, and we really appreciate you coming on. For the UIA TV, we ask everyone, go on out to UIA TV on YouTube and subscribe. Also, go out to the United Inventors Association website, UIAUSA.org, and sign up, become a member. It's free, no reason not to. For myself, Carmen Danisco, from Mr. Christopher Guerrero and Matt Nuncio, thank you so much, Rick, and we will catch you next time.